Islamic finance is a burgeoning industry, and with more people looking towards more ethical financial solutions, it's becoming a part of the mainstream market and offering. With me now to discuss is Nasr Albikawi, CEO of International Turnkey Systems. Well, Nasr, in what way has Islamic finance evolved over the last 30 years?
Has evolved in a very noticeable way. Islamic banking has started around 40 years ago. And all the institutes, financial institutes in the region are adopting this model and are enhancing their services as they go. So as we go, we see more institutes are offering these services because the demand in the market is increasing. And we can expect it also to increase as we go for the coming few decades also.
And what role would you say technology has played in the development of Islamic finance?
As all other businesses, technology is a kind of a platform and enabler. And exactly also as the technology played a role in the conventional classical banking, it will do the same thing in the Islamic banking and all other businesses.
Looking at ethics finance now, and how does it differ to other software packages on the market?
In terms of addressing the business needs from Islamic perspective, ethics is ahead of all other competitors with all due respect because we've started earlier in this market and we've been able to work with our clients, our partners, the banks to identify those needs and to write the application to meet the Islamic needs that's compliant with the Islamic Sharia. So we are ahead of all other competitors in addressing the Islamic financing business needs.
How big a challenge is compliance for your clients, and how has ethics been able to overcome this hurdle?
It is challenging because the Islamic way of doing finance is a bit different. It's not straightforward. A lot of workarounds, a lot of calculations has to be done. So it is, yes, challenging. And because we're doing it for the first time, it requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of information from the client side, from the Sharia, the consular part, because everything we have to consult, whether at our side, at ITS, or at the bank side, they have to go back to the Sharia Islamic committee or counselors. But as I said, since we've been there for quite some time, we've been able to address it and enhance it as we go, being ahead of everybody else. It is a challenging task, and it's not an easy thing, straightforward, but we're up to it, and we're trying to keep an edge moving forward, meeting the customers and the market demand and expectations.
Likewise, how can ethics reduce costs and strengthen customer services?
By being able to complete and accomplish the tasks and the requirement of the Islamic banking using our system, applications and infrastructure. This is definitely will play a major role in enhancing and reducing the total cost of ownership and the output of the whole process by increasing the productivity of the institute in general and the department and the individuals.
Now, Nasr, there has been a lot of unrest in the Middle East following the Arab Spring. What sort of impact has this had on the industry?
From the economical side, it has been impacted negatively by slowing down the projects. But I believe at the same time, people are depending on banks to deposit their money and to keep their money. So from one side, they're not moving their money, they're not investing much of their money, and the most thing that they trust now is the banks. So that kind of encouraged the banks to expand more on their services, expand a bit more on their capacity, adding more services to encourage people to keep their money with them. So we've seen some kind of new services that has been introduced by those banks, and the base of these services being introduced to the market has increased a bit due to the circumstances in the region. That's pushed us, of course, to start meeting the demand by working on these new requests, new services as per the compliance with the Sharia law.
Finally, how do you see the industry developing?
It's promising because we're still like midway of complying and making the Sharia law and the Islamic financing law and methods compliant with the conventional banking and the market requirement. So that gives us more opportunities to work on more services and to introduce more business functions as we go. In terms of market size, it's also very promising because today we receive demand and calls from the west part of the world. So Islamic banking is not limited only to our region and to the Asia Pacific to some extent. We receive requests today from the States, we receive requests from North America, from South America, from China, from Japan, and we know that there are some governments, they're working on introducing the Islamic financial regulations and kind of regularize it and kind of make it part of their central bank's rules and regulations. So I think the future is promising. We plan to go global in 2017 to meet the demand that we see it growing all over the world.